Discarded Beasts, File 6, Carefree. An ultramarathon is a race known to be longer than the traditional marathon length by around 3 to 4 miles. Within the town of Palmyra, only around 24 individuals have ever attempted to complete such a feat, and due to the limited information available to the participants, none of them know the length it took the others. However, as Kalita made her way back to the inn, she managed to complete the 30-mile requirement with relative ease and in a quicker time than most could, comfortably putting her in 4th place. As one would expect, this much physical effort in one day had drained her legs of energy. She was able to distract herself by talking with Ellen as she walked, the two conversing about their lives and what led them down the path they currently walked. Ellen seemed entranced by what Kalita said, her mood shifting from annoyed to perplexed to completely enriched, but Kalita didn't really remember any of what she said. She was mostly talking to avoid losing the first possible connection she had made in years. As she finally spotted the inn door just ahead, her legs gave out, causing her to collapse onto a nearby tree. She was just barely too weak to make it. "Are you all right, Kalita?" Leland asked as they turned around. I'm fine, just exhausted from the walk." Kalita tried to stand, but could only just barely keep herself up by leaning on the tree. Leland looked Kalita over before bluntly stating, "You are clearly not fine. Do you want me to carry you inside? I have more than enough strength left, and you're not nearly as heavy as some of the people I evacuated from this town before we met." Kalita's exhausted mind saw nothing wrong with this, and so she agreed to be carried in. With surprising ease, Leland picked up Kalita and threw her over their shoulder before bringing her into the inn. As Leland opened the door, the smell of prepared food quickly made itself known to the individuals. Kalita could distinctly smell some sort of pie, cooked meat, and melted cheese. After only a few moments of them being in the inn, Mark made his way into the lounge. "Welcome back, you two," he said before pausing as he saw Kalita slung over Leland's shoulder. Welcome back, you three? I didn't expect to see you back so soon, Kalita." Mark's confusion confused Kalita, and so Leland decided to clear the situation by quickly explaining. "Mark, Kalita knows the plan, and Kalita, Mark knew the old plan." Mark's eyes went wide as he leaned forward, clearly interested in what caused such a change. "Oh, do tell what caused such a shift." Leland locked eyes with Mark as she told him what she discussed with Kalita on the way down. "You recall my father, yes?" Mark nodded as Leland told him. "Kalita here is that kid." Mark's tone changed once more from half bored to 100% interested. "Well then, it's no wonder you two get along so well. Any friend of Leland's is a friend of mine." Kalita took a second to process the information, but was too exhausted to question the individuals further. "Can I still stay here until I find a new home?" Kalita asked. "Please consider this your home for now. I cooked a meal to celebrate recent events, but considering the circumstances, you're welcome to join us. I do have to ask, though, why are you carrying her like that?" "Did you break her leg in the fight?" Mark inquired. Leland sighed as they placed Kalita onto a chair like a small creature before turning to speak to Mark. "She's exhausted from the walk and the fight, so when her legs gave out, I decided to help her out." Mark looked to Kalita before looking back to Leland, before turning to look at the door. "Hold on, you let a bug get into the inn. I see it on the door. Give me a sec to pet it real fast and hard with my hand." Mark then walked out from behind the counter, taking a breath in for a moment before entering a sprinting position. He then charged towards the door, running as fast as he could before leaping just ahead of the door and landing a punch directly to the bug. He let out a demented laugh before looking to his fist to see the remnants of the insect. "I'm gonna go wash this off. You two should probably do the same," he remarked before leaving towards the room corridor. Kalita and Leland both just watched him leave before locking eyes. Why would we wash off the bug on his hand? Leland just stared at Kalita before walking away to shower. After sitting alone in the lounge for a second, Kalita made the choice to do the same. As she washed the blood from her face, she pondered how the inn got water to begin with. It was still a mystery as to how exactly this place worked and operated, but she was not going to complain about a roof over her head. Once she had finished, she put on another set of identical clothes before exiting her room and heading for the dining hall, where Leland and Mark were sitting. Mark had not yet started eating, while Ellen had already finished 43 peas and 26% of a potato. Kalita picked up a plate before getting enough food to satiate her intense hunger. She had a large burger, 2 fish, 10 potato wedges, 4 apples, and 2 chicken breasts. As she sat down to eat, everyone looked towards her large plate of food for a moment before looking away, though Kalita was far too hungry to notice. She thanked Mark for the meal before eating her burger, and as Kalita began, so did everyone else. Leland finished the potato before moving on to a sandwich, while Mark drank some milk alongside a cheeseburger with ground tomato and mozzarella. Once everyone had finished eating, Kalita decided to ask Mark about how the inn worked. Oh, this isn't an inn. It just looks like one. It's actually my wound, Mark remarked. Kalita's confused expression prompted a further explanation. I assume what Leland told me about you having a factor is true? You can make ice, correct? Kalita nodded in response. Well, wounds are like factors, magical abilities formed at a young age, except instead of using physical blood as fuel, they're more abstract in nature with what they cost. This inn is sort of a home for me. It's hard to explain, but I think you get what I mean. Mark watched as Cleta once again nodded in agreement despite her not knowing what Mark meant at all. Was this entire inn Mark's wound? An object formed of magic such as this was something she had never imagined. Anyways, Mark continued, that door will always lead you back to this place, no matter where you open it. It can change size or shape to fit whoever needs to come in, or keep out whoever shouldn't. I assume Leland told you they'll have to carry it with you once we make the trip. Mark looked to Leland for reassurance before she shook her head in denial. We haven't explained the plan to her just yet. Leland explained. However, since we're all here, would you like us to?